Are you struggling with binge eating and you're just over it? Are you feeling guilty, embarrassed, and shameful about this problem? Are you worried that if you start to eat, you're going to gain weight, so you just keep restricting yourself? I get it, sister. I've been there, and it's an awful place to be. But the good news is that there's so much that you can do to pull yourself out of the cycle and quickly. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you how you can prevent binge eating and stop it when it's about to happen. After this episode, you'll know exactly what to do to get yourself out of this mess. So grab a pen and paper to write these tips down and let's get to it.
Do you wish you could look like you train as much as you do? Are you sick of scouring the internet for sports nutrition tips only to find information tailored to men? Do you wish there was a simple solution to fueling your body for your activity level? Are you ready to find freedom with food? It is possible to have balance between fueling your body for your sport and for enjoyment, and it's not as complicated as you may think. Can we say hello, food freedom? There's a way to have it all and eat your cake too, and I'm going to show you how. Hey, I'm Kristen, a former multi-sport athlete, a sports dietitian, personal trainer, and Jesus lover. In this podcast, you will find practical, sustainable fueling tips for female athletes that will set you free from diet culture, an ever-changing set of nutrition rules, under-fueling, and underperforming. You'll learn how to put together a fueling plan that works for you, that doesn't require all the rules, tracking every morsel of food you consume, letting food consume your every thought, with Jesus at the center of it all. If you're ready to find a sustainable nutrition plan that works for you with your active lifestyle and is tailored to your unique physiology, break free from diet culture, and finally feel comfortable in your own skin, this podcast is for you. Whip up that smoothie, lace up your shoes, and let's jump in.
So before we begin, let me just say, if you are struggling with binge eating, which is probably why you're listening to this episode, please do not hesitate to reach out for help. I know that this is an embarrassing problem and people don't like to admit that they are binge eating, that they don't have control over their bodies, but it is absolutely a common problem, unfortunately, for a lot of female athletes. And I don't want you to struggle with this any more than you already have. So please reach out to me and let's talk about how we can get you started on the road to recovery. Let's schedule a consultation for you and figure out how we can move you past this binge eating. And this is something, like I said, you do not have to live with for the rest of your life. And I've been there, done that. So don't feel like I'm going to be judging you, because I'm absolutely not going to be. So first of all, let's just talk about what is binge eating. So binge eating is a disorder that's characterized by recurrent episodes of consuming large quantities of food in a short period of time. And this is often accompanied by a sense of loss of control over eating, a loss of control over your body. It's not the same as occasional overeating, but binge eating episodes really are something that's going to occur more on a regular basis, more like once a week for every week for 3 months, something along those lines. And that, for a lot of people, can elicit these feelings of guilt and shame and just really feeling like I can't let anybody know about my secret. You might have seen shows on TV of people where they drive around to different McDonald's and order a meal for themselves or 2 meals for themselves, and then they go to somewhere else and do the same thing. It doesn't have to be like that. It could be simply where you get into the kitchen and you're like, oh my gosh, there's food around and I have to have it. Or there's ice cream in the freezer and I know that ice cream is there. I can't not eat the ice cream. I have to have it. You know, it could be any variety of those things and much more. So let's talk about what the key features are of binge eating. Like I said, eating large amounts. So this is just basically significantly more than what most people would consider a normal portion size, and often within a short period of time, like within 2 hours. Number 2 is loss of control. So during a binge, people are not going to feel like they have control over their bodies. They cannot stop eating that food even when they are full. Number 3 are going to be emotional triggers. So binge eating is often linked to emotional distress. So this could be like stress or anxiety, depression, or even just boredom. So people oftentimes are going to use food as a way to cope with your emotions. And there's going to be times when that's fine, but at the same time, we don't want it to be all the time. So number 4 is physical discomfort. Episodes can lead to physical discomfort, including nausea and stomach pain, and just feeling excessively full. And that is a really awful feeling sometimes when you just feel like, I don't like this feeling. I've got to get this out. So this happened to me back in my eating disorder days when I was struggling with anorexia, actually. I got to the point where I was just so hungry that what I wound up doing was binge eating. I actually swung the other way and I wound up binge eating instead of just restricting my food intake. So I was kind of stuck in the cycle of restricting and then binge eating at the same time. So what would happen is I would go to bed at night and I was so hungry because I really hadn't eaten enough all day. And I would just think about all the food that I was going to eat tomorrow and how I was going to have this nice little breakfast in the morning. And I was going to have, a sensible lunch and blah, 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 blah. And then what would happen is I'd get to the next day and I'm like, just give me food. And I would eat, just a ton of food, a lot of food. And I would feel gross and I would feel so full. And I just had this feeling of like, I just need to get this food out of my body. I can't take it anymore. And so what wound up happening then is I actually wound up trying to make myself throw up, but I was a little too scared to go down that road. So I never actually followed through with it. But I would wind up over exercising to compensate for all that extra food. So now I was stuck in the cycle of restricting, binge eating, and over exercising. Not a fun place to be whatsoever. So if that is you, let's talk about how you can actually stop binge eating and get out of this horrible cycle. So number one is to actually eat enough throughout the day. So make a plan of what your breakfast is going to look like, your lunch is going to look like, your dinner is going to look like, and actually have those foods available. But I actually want you to have more food available than what you think that you should eat. Because what winds up happening is people think, oh, I should just have, one egg with a slice of toast and a little bit of fruit for breakfast, and that's enough. And the fact of the matter is that's not enough food at all. And so that's going to lead to a binge. You're going to wind up binging later because you didn't eat enough earlier in the day. So make sure that you have a plan for enough food throughout the day and you actually have those foods readily available. So that means if you need to go to the grocery store, you need to plan out a grocery list, or you need to do a little bit of meal prepping, whatever it is that you need to do, that's what you need to do so that you can have that food available. And like I said, more of it than what you think you're going to eat or need to eat throughout the day. Number two is eat when you are hungry. So that means you actually have to pay attention to your body. And when you eat, when you get hungry, you actually have to obey your body and eat. That is not a bad sign when you get hungry. I know a lot of people feel like, I just ate, I shouldn't be hungry again. But when your body is hungry, that is your body telling you, hey, I need food. That's kind of like putting gas in your car so it can go. If you see that your car is on E and you're not putting gas in your car, well, guess what? Your car's not going to go anywhere. And it's the same thing with your body. So you need to eat when you're hungry throughout the day to make sure that you're eating enough food. So number three is to pay attention to your food when you do eat. And what I mean by that is to actually sit without distraction and eat your food without feeling guilty. And what I would suggest that you do is to go through this exercise that I'm going to give you. So you're going to take whatever piece of food that you want. You're going to look at it, examine it. What does it look like? What shape is it? What color is it? Does it look good? Does it look bad? Put it up to your nose. What does it smell like? Does it smell sweet? Does it smell salty? Is it a good scent? Is it not a good scent? Whatever. Then you're going to put it on your tongue. Don't chew it yet, but just put it on your tongue. And what is the taste that you get? What's the sensation in your mouth that you get when you put that on your tongue? Next up, then you're going to chew it. And what does that feel like when you chew it? Is it crunchy? Is it soft? Is it mushy? Again, what is the sensation that you get in your mouth? Then you're going to swallow it and notice what it feels like when it's sliding down your esophagus into your stomach. You're going to repeat this every time that you eat as much as humanly possible. Eventually, you won't have to do the whole long drawn out exercise, but it'll become second nature to you. And when you eat without distraction and you actually pay attention to your food, you get way more satisfaction out of that food rather than just scarfing it down, looking at your phone when you don't even know what in the world you're eating and you don't ever taste the food. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to your food, don't feel guilty about it, and get the satisfaction out of your food. Number 4 is to not count certain foods as off limits. So all foods are going to be allowed. I want you to make sure that you are not categorizing foods as this is too high in carbs or too high in calories or too high in fat. I can't eat them. That is just setting you up for failure. There really is no bad food. You want to make sure that you are including all foods and you are including them in your day-to-day diet and not dismissing anything because it doesn't meet some certain criteria that you've made up in your head. When you make something off limits, you automatically are going to fixate on it and want more of it. And then when you do get a chance to eat it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a binge. So don't do that. Number 5 is to balance your plate. So when you balance your plate, that means making sure that you are having a protein, a carb, a fat, and some fruits and vegetables in there at each of your meals. That probably sounds like a lot of food, but that's actually what your body needs. Again, if you are not sure how to put this all together for yourself, please reach out. Let's set up a consultation for you and let's figure it out for you. Number 6, which is last but not least, is emotional regulation. So really figuring out how to deal with your emotions. And if you don't know how to deal with your emotions, I have some tricks for you. Number 1 is prayer. This is first and foremost. Just ask God for help. There are things that we cannot do in our lives by ourselves, and that is the way that God has designed the world, for us to ask Him to help, and He will help us with it. So ask God to help you with regulating your emotions, and before you eat a food, God helping you to eat that food within a reasonable amount and feeling good and satisfied about eating that food. Number 2 under emotional regulation is journaling. So this is a great way to just get your emotions out. I personally love journaling because I don't have to tell anybody. All I need to do is just put it out on paper, and it really gets all those emotions out of my head and makes me feel so much better. Next up is meditation. Meditation is one of those things where it just helps you to kind of clear your head and not have to fixate on something any more than you already are. So meditation, there's lots of benefits to meditation, but if you're not sure how to do this, you can actually just look it up on YouTube. You can search for meditation, guided meditation on YouTube, and you will come up with lots of videos. You don't need to watch them, but you just listen to them. Last up is to work with a therapist. So if you're trying all these things and nothing is working, certainly a therapist is going to be a big key piece of the puzzle. And a therapist can help you work through all these emotions as well. I highly recommend working with a therapist. And I actually see with my eating disorder clients, the ones that do work with a therapist, they actually have faster recovery times than those who don't. So I highly recommend finding a therapist that works with disordered eating clients. Now, like I said, if you are completely confused on how to actually put together a nutrition plan for you so that you know that you're eating enough throughout the day, this is where I come in and I would love to help you. You're going to click on the link below to sign up for a free no obligation consultation, and we will talk about how we can get you started on the road to recovery.
Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you, encouraged you, or changed you, I would love for you to leave me a review and share it with a girlfriend who will find it helpful or inspiring. That is the best way you can thank me and help me share my knowledge so I can help more people just like you. I'm so thankful that you spent this time with me today, and I'd love to connect with you. Join my Facebook group, Female Sports Nutrition, or send me a DM on Instagram, or hop on over to my website, elitenutritionperformance.com. I'll see you back here next week.